Banished is a fantastic game, but it can be incredibly frustrating when your entire settlement collapses within the first few years. I have figured out a foolproof way to ensure your settlement survives the first decade, unless there's some unexpected event, like a natural disaster or an illness outbreak. Every second is important in the first few years, so I immediately pause the game upon starting a new save. I find being informed helps, so I open three informational menus. First, the resource summary. Second is the events log, and finally, the professions menu. You can arrange these however you like, but I find this way looks the least cluttered. The most important resource to start with is food. I like to build a 15 by 15 field right in front of the resource barn. The less time spent traveling, the better. I include dirt paths to speed up walking. Ideally, you should put two full-size fields, but only have one active at first. Planning ahead is not mandatory, but it is helpful. The next priority is housing. Your settlement only needs 5 houses to start. I prefer the wood, as the stone homes are too resource demanding. Your settlers will begin to add the resources to the placeholder, so make sure you only have 1 or 2 homes active at a time. Every year of in-game time, you should add 1 more house. Make sure you assign 2 builders in the professions menu. Finally, resource collecting. My foolproof method for resource collecting is to create a resource hub. Every building has a collection radius, which shows up as an orange circle. You want to find an area where that entire orange circle is going to be productive. Start with the hunting lodge because this building has the largest radius. Once you find a good place for it, place it and pause the construction. Build a pathway on both sides of the building. This will serve as a guideline for your other buildings to be placed on. The order in which you place the rest of the buildings is completely up to personal preference. Building priority is stockpile, foresting lodge, hunting lodge, woodcutter, gathering hut, and finally the herbalist. Here you can see how close my resource hub is to my starting point. This will depend on your map, but the closer the better. Now that your citizens are collecting resources, it's time to focus on the other items. Build a blacksmith and a tailor next to your resource shed. If you are lucky and have a river by your starting point, a fishing dock is a great early game addition. Some professions are irrelevant during certain seasons. For example, the farmers don't work in the winter, so feel free to shuffle them to other professions until the spring. Every building has a certain number of workers it can use. The herbalist has a maximum of 2, but I find it works just fine with 1 employee. On the other hand, the hunting cabin starts with 3 workers, but I find it does best with 4. As your settlement grows, you can add more houses. I recommend only adding 1 additional home per game year. Otherwise, the population can quickly get out of hand and consume resources quicker than you can collect them.